Hi, I'm Nilsa Gonzalez.
And I'm Constance Ditzel. Together, we're running to represent you in the New Jersey State Assembly, Legislative District 5. Have you heard of Murphy's Law? It's an Irish saying that says, if anything can go wrong, it will. Let's look at Governor Murphy's Law in New Jersey.
New Jersey has invested billions of your tax dollars in wind farms along our shorelines. Yet, they shut down natural gas and nuclear energy with no wind farms in operation.
We need a change in direction. Poor planning has resulted in you paying more for your utilities.
We need a change in leadership.
After 20 years of Assembly and Senate Democrat rule.
Constance Ditzel and Nilsa Gonzalez approve of this message. This ad was paid for by the Ditzel and Gonzalez LD5 campaign.
Well, hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to The Pulse. I am your moderator tonight, Alexandra Levine. We have some breaking news. This weekend, October 18th, all day Saturday, we have something called the King's Protest all day nationwide. As you remember, they pulled that crap in June. These are people that are protesting against President Trump. They protested against Elon Musk at the time. They're protesting against ICE. They're protesting against the government shutdown. As you know, they made a big deal about this in June, and we found out it was elderly people on Medicare, white elderly people on Medicare that were protesting against Donald Trump. The question is, what kind of people are going to be protesting this time? It's disgusting that probably taxpayer dollars are going into this. And of course, we always try to find out the source for who's really funding the No Kings protest. Is it George Soros? Is it the socialist, Marxist, communist elitists? Or is it somebody different this time? But it's disgusting that we have to go through this again and again and again. But on the flip side, instead of going to a No Kings protest, you should be going to something that really matters. You should be going to a cause. There is a wonderful organization called Lost Voices of Fentanyl. Our friend Ann Funder is one of the founders of it. And my friend April Babcock is one of the lead people in the state of Maryland for Lost Voices of Fentanyl. They're having a huge march for combating fentanyl because it is such a deadly drug in Washington, D.C., the same time, 9:30 in the morning in D.C., October 18th. And it's going to be on the northeast quadrant of the Washington Monument in D.C. Elected official Tim Fazenbaker will be there. America's Pulse Network will be covering that event. And a lot of wonderful people will be at the event. There is some talk of major elected officials and major people. Thomas Homan may be there. Pam Bondi may be there. Kristi Noem may be there, and many others. I would advise everybody to go to this march against fentanyl, to go to DC, to help our children, to help our young people, instead of going to a No Kings protest, which is ridiculous and insane. Now to our monologue. Again, welcome to the Pulse, everybody. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. I'm your host. We are still in the Schumer shutdown. The Democrats refuse to reopen the government until they give illegals health care. Is that what we, the people, want? The Democrats are now trying to play the saint, and some of them are now refusing to take their salaries. But the ironic part is they caused the problem. The hypocrisy of these Democrats is disgusting. They're solely doing this because President Trump worked to get the one big beautiful bill passed, which helps we the people. Healthcare for illegals is not what Americans want, and it's not what Americans voted for. And the entire world is watching this, and they are disgusted. But as we know, guys, elections have consequences. And we have some pretty serious elections coming up in November of this year in Virginia and New Jersey, which we'll get to later in the program. But please, guys, we have to be smart going to the polls, and we have to get the right people in office and get these radicals out of office. And that's a monologue. Again, tonight we have a jam-packed show. So let's introduce you to my other hosts and my guests. This guy taught us all about hallway sex, the Hammer, Damon Galdo of the Jersey Shore.
You're stuck with that hallway sex. Hello.
I do it for Heather. That's what I do it for.
Yeah. Thank you.
So our other host, he's coming on later, our Popeye the Sailor Man, Seth Eisenberg of the Conservative Corner. And of course, we have my fellow Floridian. We don't know tonight if she'll talk about bananas, if she'll eat bananas, if she'll eat some latkes, or if she'll eat some Christmas cookies. Our very own food liaison, Elena Barber from the Base Mother.
Hello, happy to be here again.
Good. And we have our special guest tonight. Thank you, Elena, for bringing him on board. Chris Barrett. He is a candidate for Missouri House of Representatives. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, awesome. Well, let's bring everybody on. So, guys, let's get right to it. There we go. Yep, we're bringing everybody on. Thank you. So, guys, let's get right to it. So, I want to focus on our first image of tonight for segment one. Let's put up the first image, Sharon. So, across the Middle East, the forces of chaos, terror, and ruin that have plagued the region for decades now stand defeated. A new coalition of proud and responsible nations is emerging. And because of us, the enemies of all civilization are losing. So President Trump went to Israel on Sunday night. It was during the religious holidays. It was during Shmini Atzeret Simchat Torah, which is called Chagim. And he was there speaking in front of the Knesset. And he brokered this deal of peace between Hamas and Israel. So the question is, I'm going to turn it to our special guest, Chris Burnett. How long do you think this, I would say, days of peace is going to be before the next attack happens?
Yeah, well, I was just kind of watching after all the pomp and circumstance that happened the other day. Today, I think we're seeing some reality going on there. I mean, I was already seeing reports that Israel was attacking Hamas people, and Hamas people were attacking not only their own citizens, but also trying to infiltrate Israeli occupied areas. So, you know, I mean, I am hoping that this lasts, that this is just some, you know, rumbling continuing on after the big event. But anyway, so I'm hopeful, but not seeing great signs.
Now, do you feel that the Israelis should have really gone in there and finished the entire job? They should have annihilated Hamas once and for all?
Well, it would be nice if we could just get rid of Hamas. As far as like unleashing the Israeli military in there, I mean, look, they're a sovereign nation. If that's something that they want to do, it is certainly up to them to do that. I don't know that, you know, the United States necessarily has to support it, though I mean, I am fine with supporting Israel. Yeah, when it gets down to it, I don't want to see a bloodbath and a lot of innocent lives lost. But at the same time, you know, if Israel did decide to do that, I don't think it's up to us to necessarily stop them.
Damon, Chair, let's put up the second image, please, that President Trump said. So President Trump also said 2 years ago, thousands of innocent Israeli civilians were attacked by terrorists, one of the most evil and heinous desecrations of innocent life the world has ever seen. Please know that America joins you in those two everlasting vows. Never forget and never again. So Damon Galdo, I turn this to you. You know, he's vowing that America joins Israel in making sure that this never happens again. What say you about what the president said?
No, it should never happen again. And I just have to say, what Trump accomplished is one of the greatest accomplishments in my life. Now, I always say that I'm not a lackey
Oh, Damon Galdo, we can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, just turn up your volume. There's a little bit of background noise coming.
Yeah, I don't know where the background noise is coming from. I can hear it. Yeah, my volume's all the way up.
Okay, there we go. Background noise is done.
Right,
So that was on.
Okay. So okay, yeah.
There
So
you go.
anyway, like I said, I'm not a lackey. I don't agree with everything Trump does. I voted for him, obviously, and I think he accomplished a lot of things. And this is one of the biggest accomplishments of any president in my lifetime that has ever done. And I hope that this peace stays. I know that he said that Hamas has to de-arm, and if they don't, then he's going to do it. He didn't say who. Maybe he's going to cut Israel loose or not if they don't, disarm. But he said they're going to do it, and it may be violent if they don't do it. So it needs to be hammered through. It needs to be done. And like I said, hammered, like Seth always says, but calls me the hammer. But it needs to be done. It needs to be done, finished, done, and hopefully, God willing, that there's going to be some type of peace in the Middle East, and even going with the other Middle Eastern countries and getting them to help rebuild. I think Trump, the art of the deal. I think he made some great deals over there, and I'm optimistic, I'll say.
So Elena, one of the biggest things was bringing all the hostages back. And President Trump said repeatedly, if you don't bring every single hostage back, there will be hell to pay. Well, for some reason, and Jewish people across the world, they're shocked by this, that Hamas actually brought all 20 hostages back in one piece. We're still waiting, of course, for deceased people. But Hamas, for some reason, they owned up to their end of the bargain and they brought back all 20 hostages. What say you about this?
Well, I'm very happy that they did that. I mean, they had pressure from the entire region, not just from Donald Trump. But I am a little bit polluted that they didn't send the remains. And I don't know what the delay is there. You forgive me if there's been a good reason given. If there is, I have not heard it. And I just cannot imagine what the reason is, other than I can imagine that these bodies are so deteriorated and have been treated so badly that they're holding off on delivering them. Because they don't want to have the repercussions for what they've done to these people. And so I don't think we're ever going to see them. And that makes me really sick to my stomach as, just as a human being, but imagining that this is my child or my sister, my brother, or any family member, to be able to lay them to rest with respect and dignity would be something that would matter to me. And this hurts that they haven't done that.
Now, Elena, follow up to you. Do you think, in your opinion, that Egypt and Qatar and Turkey can actually control Hamas and make sure that Hamas doesn't take over Gaza again, and that this broker deal that Trump put together with these countries, that Egypt and Qatar and Turkey will actually own up to their end of the bargain, in your opinion?
At the risk of oversimplifying, I would say yes. I think they do have the ability to, and I think that they will, because they have a vested interest in getting rid of Hamas. But I also, just as history tells us, when you strike down one evil, another one rises back up again, and a new one will form. So this peace is not going to be a lasting peace. We will never achieve world peace.
Now, Chris Barnett, now we're going into phase two. Phase two is about all of these very rich, wealthy countries putting up the money, putting up a lot of money to take over Gaza. And that's pretty much what President Trump is working on right now. What say you about that?
Well, I mean, I think that that's actually a great thing. That's going to probably go a long way in solidifying any sort of hope of long-term peace there, which is basically economic development. Basically give these people a future to look forward to, because clearly they don't have that right now. I think that it will calm down the situation. Once people start having more normal lives, they're not going to want to turn to these terrorist organizations for support and protection. So I think that what Trump is doing in regard to this is fantastic. I absolutely support that, because if we just pull out and call it a day, then everything's just going to return to as it has been.
Now, Damon Galdo, a lot of people feel that there will never be another October 7th under President Trump's leadership. He's going to be in there for 3 more years, God willing. But after he leaves, people are like, if JD Vance becomes the president, are we still going to have peace? Or God forbid we get a Democrat in there, years later. How can we as Americans prevent an October 7th happening here, but also we don't want to have a mess over in the Middle East again after Trump leaves? What's your opinion on that?
Well, I'll answer that question in a second because Seth is on. So let's bring him.
Oh, yay! Woo! All right.
Welcome, Seth.
My man.
So anyway, so to your question, I think whether it's Vance, whether it's Rubio, that's going to be involved. I mean, I think Rubio may be vice president or who knows? I don't know how it's going to work. I know they're still going to be involved. And I believe that between those two, I would say, and then Hegseth and everybody else, I think Trump put a team together that's pretty good, that is going to pressure them to keep this peace, try to rebuild over there. And I think I'm like I said before, I'm optimistic. I think Trump, he kind of, I got to say, and I'm not usually starstruck by anybody, but what he accomplished, it was pretty good. So, and I think the team that he put together after this guy was, the whole Russian hoax, and then the stolen election, and then after that, they tried to bankrupt him. They tried to throw him in jail. They tried to kill him twice. And then he wins the election and he puts his team together. I'm kind of amazed by it. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'll be the first one to call, a spade if Trump does something wrong, and that's no problem with me. But this thing that he pulled together, I am very amazed by it. And the team that he put together, like I said, I am very optimistic, and I hope I'm not wrong.
So, Seth, we're talking about a subject that you and I are extremely passionate about. We're talking about the, Israel is Hamas, deal. They're calling President Trump the peace president now. He brought 35 nations to him. He called them up for this big meeting in Egypt. And now we're going into phase 2, where he's telling these nations to pony up the money and let's rebuild Gaza. Make sure that Hamas doesn't take over. Make sure that no terrorist organization takes over. What say you about this? Let's get your perspective.
Well, Hamas has already started executing people in the streets over the last week that they think have collaborated with Israel. It's not going to change. Israel should have killed them all when they had the chance. Now they're just regrouping. This is a tactical pause for them. They're regrouping. They're rearming. They're getting a new game plan together. We should have let Israel turn that place into glass, because it's going to be a constant thorn in the world's side. They are never going to stop what they do. They are terrorists. Terrorists terrorize. That's all they know how to do. We're not talking about an educated population. We're talking about dirt merchants. And all they know is violence. That's all they know. They want to kill the Jews. They're going to wipe out Israel. And it's not just Israel. They want to make the whole world Islam. And they've proven it. They are killing people in the streets because they think they helped Israel. And and they know the whole world's watching now. And they don't care.
But Seth, in your opinion, under President Trump's leadership now, because under Biden we had October 7th, do you believe that there will be another October 7th under President Trump's leadership, or when he leaves, there will be another October 7th?
They'll wait till he's gone. They're not stupid. They know he'll do something if they do anything, so they'll wait, because they know they got most of the world still out there protesting for them. I mean, you've seen the news. There are people in America saying just because there's a peace accord doesn't mean we're going to stop protesting Israel. They know they've got the dummies on their side, but they also know Trump won't have a problem dropping the hammer on them. So they're going to wait. They'll buy, and they'll use that time to regroup and resupply and dig more tunnels and do all that stuff while Trump's there. They'll go, okay, no, we're good. We're not going to do anything. As soon as he's gone, they're going to be right back at it. They're going to kill more people. You can't talk or compromise with people who have told the world they want to kill you. No matter what they say after that, you can't believe anything they say. Oh, yeah, no, we agree with peace. No, you don't. No, you don't. How many times has there been peace talks? 2010, 2014, 2017, 1987. There's been like 15, 20 times they've gone, yeah, okay, cool, we'll do that. And here we are again going with him and going, hey, yeah, cool, we're going to do that. We need to kill them. Kill them.
Well, Seth, I would say this. I don't trust them at all. You're absolutely right in what you said. But under Trump's leadership and under the team that he put together that should carry on, his ways, I think as soon as somebody screws up, then boom, there you go. You're getting zapped.
No, Trump in office, he's going to do. He'll drop the hammer.
Yeah, just zap
everybody else. But do I think the people behind him will? Yeah. I don't know enough about them to say that they would. I don't know anything about them.
I think they would. I think they're all on board with it. I see them zapping those narco boats like crazy. I think it was a fifth one just happened the other day.
Zapping a narco boat is different than going to war with people who can fight back and shoot. It's a big difference. Putting boots on the ground is way different than shooting a drone from 80 miles away.
Compared to what we have that they have, I mean, if they do something wrong and they break this.
Wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they've really this time they're like, yeah, we're done. We really mean it this time. I hope they do, but
I hope so. But no, I'm just saying if they do screw up and they break the peace agreement, peace through strength.
Well, I was going to say the reason that President Trump got involved in the first place was because there was so much tumult in the Israeli government, during this whole thing. Netanyahu was fighting with the opposition. He was fighting with the deep state. The deep state, I told you in Israel last week, they want to put Netanyahu in jail. They want to make sure he's not the prime minister anymore. So he had to reach out to his friend Trump to say, hey, I need some help here because I'm dealing with the same crap that you're dealing with in America. And that's really why Trump, was like, okay, he came to the table with Netanyahu, with my friend Ron Dermer, who works under Bibi and many others, and put their heads together to figure, and with Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, and put their heads together to figure out, okay, how can we stop this war? How can we make some type of peace, right now at this moment, and hoping that it will continue in the future. And like Damon said and Seth said, if it doesn't happen, if there is a break of the ceasefire, or if there is a more break of violence, then Trump says there will be hell to pay. But it's sad that President Trump has to be the peacekeeper here. But he has to be the peacekeeper because the Israeli government is lashing out at Netanyahu, and they want him to lose, and they want him to fail, and they want more of this war to go on because it looks bad for Netanyahu. And that's actually the real crux of the whole thing. Elena, take it up to you. Switching to, they had a Nobel Peace Prize winner. It wasn't President Trump, unfortunately. It was actually someone in Venezuela who actually supported and supports President Trump. She actually kind of said, President Trump really deserves my Nobel Peace Prize because he stopped about 8 wars already. What say you about that?
Yeah, I think that was just a petty enjoyment that we got watching the left be mad that she said she dedicated her Nobel Peace Prize to Donald Trump. He does deserve it, and he probably won't get it next year because they will find anybody. They will give it to a mother in a playground for breaking up a fight between two toddlers. Or they give it to Donald Trump. So it doesn't matter. I think personally, I thought it was very nice of her, and it really showed the world, what people really think about Donald Trump when she dedicated to him. But I personally don't care about the Nobel Peace Prize for him. I thought it was completely invalidated after they gave it to Barack Obama for doing absolutely nothing.
I agree.
So once that happened, that was one of the moments when I woke up and there was a crack in the facade of how I looked at the world. Those are one of the things that got me to start waking up to realizing everything was BS.
Mm-hmm.
So they can take their Nobel Peace Prize and pound it.
Chris, let me pivot to you. Do you think that President Trump really cares if he gets the Nobel Peace Prize or not?
I seriously doubt it. I mean, knowing his personality, I'm kind of guessing that, he would like the accolade, but I think that he's going to live without it, and especially getting that kind of feedback from the person who did win, that I'm sure that made him extremely happy, kind of a na moment for him. So, yeah, absolutely. But, I think personally that he's very deserving of it, like Elena was saying. I mean, if someone like Barack Obama can get it for doing absolutely nothing, then, I mean, someone who stopped so many wars, you'd think that they might want to give it to him, but, that's not politically correct.
Well, I hope he gets it and he sends it back.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, Damon Gallo, pivot to you. I mean, President Trump, he's done so much. President Trump has kind of like poked at the Nobel Peace Prize, people and people that are in charge of who gets and who doesn't. It's like, what the hell else does he have to do to earn this damn Nobel Peace Prize? I mean, seriously.
I mean, you have all those memes out there that Trump would say, it's good for you to breathe oxygen. And then you have the memes of the Democrats and everybody holding their breath because they don't want to breathe anymore. So it's whatever he does, they just hate him, the bad orange man, because I don't understand it. I don't understand the TDS. I really don't get it that much. I know you can not like somebody and you don't want them to get elected, but how far they go to trash somebody and not realize the accomplishments that he's making and what he's doing good for this country. Because if Kamala Harris got elected, we'd be, I don't even know where we'd be. I don't even want to say because I have no idea, but I know it'd be bad. But that's the thing, if I don't know. So I'll leave it at that. So.
Mm-hmm. Seth, I'm going to end it with you before we go into our next segment. I mean, you think just like Trump. I know you do on some things. Like, God, I did this for you. I did that for you. But you know what? F it. Screw it. Forget it. It's just a piece of paper. It's just a medal. It doesn't really mean anything. I mean, honestly, do you think that Trump is sitting around saying, damn it, I should have gotten this Nobel Peace Prize, or, F it?
He's saying fuck it. Why? Why? He knows Barack Obama got. I think he just wanted it so he could go, yeah, I got it, whatever. Yeah. Watch this.
Like an F you to Barack Obama.
I don't. It doesn't mean anything to him. I mean, it shouldn't mean anything to anybody now.
Yeah. Now, it's really interesting. I want you to comment on this. I don't know if you saw this. So Time Magazine had Trump on the cover, and they took like the worst picture of him, and they put it on the front cover. It's like a picture of like his neck, and doesn't even show like his hair. And he's like, damn it, like, why did they have to take like the worst picture of me and put it on the cover of Time Magazine? They've had some better pictures of him before. Seth, it's so funny. I don't think he cares about the Nobel Peace Prize, but when it comes to taking a picture, he's the president of the United States. He wants a damn good picture of himself on the front cover of Time Magazine. What say you about that?
Yeah, that probably bothers him more. I mean, honestly, I think that bothers him more than the Nobel Peace Prize.
Exactly. I think it bothers his wife more.
I mean, I think there's more sting with that than there is in not winning the Nobel Peace Prize. Like I said, if he got it, I guarantee he'd been like, watch me throw this in the trash. I just wanted to prove a point. So yeah, I think the picture probably means more to him than the Nobel Peace Prize, and that's how it should be. The Nobel Peace Prize, like Elena said, lost all legitimacy when they gave it to Barack Obama. I mean, literally. Exactly. I want to put myself up for the Nobel Peace Prize next time because I helped a guy pay for his gas today. So I should get something for that. I should get the Nobel Peace Prize.
Exactly. No, you should get the Nobel Peace Prize for trying to be Miss Maryland.
I should get it for that too.
That you should have got it for.
I should get it for that too.
So we're not going to take a break. We're going right into segment 2 because I still want to keep this momentum of honoring and prizes and awards. So as you know, it was very honorable for President Trump to posthumously give Charlie Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the highest medal for a civilian. And he had Erica Kirk at the White House. They had to expand the whole ceremony out to the new Rose Garden because everyone and their mother was there. It was a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. And, honoring Charlie Kirk's life, we know he was a great guy. He did a lot of great things. And let's put up the image Damon shared of Trump with Erica. There we go. So the White House shares touching photos from Charlie Kirk Presidential Medal of Freedom ceremony. Pivot to Chris Barnett. What do you think about Charlie Kirk receiving this award?
No, yeah, absolutely.
Or this medal?
I think it's absolutely the right thing to do. Because I mean, if anything, let's face it, at some point in time, he probably would have received it. So, I mean, why not just go ahead and do it now while everybody really has him in our minds? So yeah, I think it's a great thing. I saw the ceremony too. It was absolutely wonderful, and and I can't help but say that it's kind of funny also to watch people who get mad about this get mad.
Now, Elena, during the speech, President Trump, he talked a lot about Charlie Kirk, but then, of course, he brought up the country. He brought about what he's doing. But, he made the point that, this was all what Charlie Kirk wanted. He wanted peace in the Middle East. He wanted peace between Russia and Ukraine. But again, you still had some critics that were like, and even Republicans, like hardcore Republicans that support Trump, they're like, God, why do you need to talk about himself? Why couldn't you just make it all about Charlie Kirk? Let's see about that.
I kind of thought the same thing. I felt like he started off well, talking about Charlie, and then I was just sitting there thinking, all right, come on, fella. I love Donald Trump, but he could have just kept it all about Charlie, and I think he should. He went on for about 20 minutes too long, and I think everybody was relieved when Erica got up to speak, because, she's such a good speaker. Every single word for her has impact and meaning. And some of the stories that she shared about the little girl, what she wanted to give her daddy for her birthday, and how this was the best birthday present that Charlie has ever received, and Charlie would think that. I thought it was really much more impactful. So yeah, no offense, President Trump, but tighten it up next time.
Well, a lot of people thought, and this was the other perspective of it to Damon Galdo, that the reason that President Trump was kind of pivoting a little bit about things that he's done and how Charlie Kirk was kind of involved in that was maybe to take away from the somber moment of this, maybe to kind of distract Erica from, crying and being upset. And she's going to probably be crying for the rest of her life about this. But, he was, in other people's opinion, he was trying to uplift the audience a little bit. What say you about that?
Yeah, he may have been. I mean, and again, we look at Trump and what's been going on. What he just accomplished recently with the peace deal, and going through everything with Charlie Kirk. The guy's all over the place. So I don't know how he sleeps. Like I had to work 24 hours straight yesterday, and I'm like beat. I mean, the guy gets like 3-4 hours of sleep. So I can't fault him on that. But he has, he's the president of the United States, and he's Donald Trump. He has a huge ego. So he makes mistakes, and so and he goes a little bit too long sometimes, and he talks about things that he shouldn't talk about sometimes. And when I watch him in his speeches, I'm like, all right, well, you really didn't need to go that long, go that far. But to each his own. He's the one that got there. He's the one that's running the country. He's the one that worked hard to get where he is and accomplished what he accomplished. So, but like I said, nobody's perfect.
So Damon Sherrod, I want you to show some of the images of last night. So that's one image. So Seth Eisenberg and I, we had the pleasure of being in Frederick County. So Seth's club, the Frederick County Conservative Club with the President Fred Profiter, put together this wonderful vigil for Charlie Kirk in Baker Park last night. And they got this huge flag and they just displayed it, and it was beautiful. Let's show the next image, Damon Sherrod. So that was people pulling, getting ready to display the huge flag. Let's show the next image. And that was the crowd. We had hundreds of people there. It was a beautiful, beautiful crowd and a beautiful night and wonderful speakers. Let's go to the next image. And that's Fred Profiter. So he is the president of the Frederick County Conservative Club. Seth, of course, is the treasurer as well as the vice president. And is there another image?
Very nice.
Yep. And then that shows, and Tim Fazenbaker was there. Of course, he spoke with Dan Cox. He spoke as well. He was the former state delegate. He ran for governor of Maryland. Who Seth talks about a lot. So Seth, I want you to talk about last night, that evening. What an amazing evening. What propelled you and Fred to do this vigil for Charlie Kirk on his birthday? And also talk about, the speakers that you guys had, because each speaker that you had really brought something different to the table. It was a very beautiful evening and a very beautiful moment. And it was just very eye-catching to see that huge flag come out. And I sang the national anthem as well. And it was just so beautiful to see us honor Charlie Kirk in such a phenomenal way. So describe, and you're wearing the Freedom shirt, which is awesome. So Seth, please describe, what propelled you guys to do the vigil on Charlie Kirk's birthday.
Well, we did one, I guess, about a week after he was killed, murdered. We had like 200-300 people there, and then we kept getting emails like, "Hey, I didn't know about that. Are you going to do this again? If you do this again, let us know." So Fred said, "Hey, let's do it again on the the Day of Remembrance." So we put that together, and it was like Alexandra says, a really good turnout. It was really good. Most of this, not most, all the speakers kind of talked about Charlie or what he was doing, what he did in their own way. So it wasn't like repetitive. It wasn't the same thing over and over and over again, which was great. Everyone had their own take on it. Everyone had their own reason why they liked Charlie Kirk or what brought them to watch Charlie Kirk. They kind of explained that to everybody. It was really good. It was. I wouldn't say it was sad at all. I don't think anybody was sad. I think it was what it was supposed to be, a celebration of life. Everybody had a good time, I guess you could call it that. But there was nobody, and everybody spoke, met new people, met people that felt the same way they did, and the idiots stayed away. There was no counter protest or anything like that, even though they'd been on Facebook all day. "Oh, we're going to come disrupt that. We're going to
And there was even, I think somebody said like your event was canceled.
Yeah, someone started saying it was canceled and everything. Yeah.
They were trying to do that to hurt you, to suppress your audience, which of course that didn't happen.
Nope.
But the pavilion that you guys had it in was gorgeous.
It was nice. The band show, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a beautiful pavilion, and it was, like Seth said, it was a come together moment. Nobody was sad, nobody was crying. Everything was very uplifting. Everything was about faith. There was actually a group of young kids that were passing out crosses to everybody, which was beautiful. It was really, really nice. It was a very touching moment.
Yep.
So, going to Damon Galdo, as you know, they're having the No Kings rally again, this weekend. But as you know, people have been having vigils for Charlie Kirk across this country, and there's been hundreds of people coming, thousands of people for Charlie Kirk. Why can't we just stay on the momentum? Why does the Democrats, whoever put this together, probably socialist, Marxist, communist, elitist, George Soros Democrats, put this together, and they're getting paid. Like, I didn't get paid to come to the vigil. I didn't want to get paid. Not one speaker that was at Fred and Seth's vigil was paid. We all did it for the love of it. We all did it for Charlie. If somebody would have offered me money, I would have refused, because it wasn't about that. But these idiots are coming for a No Kings protest. They're all getting paid $20 to $25 an hour, sometimes more, I think $40 an hour. It's craziness, to come out and protest against President Trump after the beautiful things that he's done and the wonderful policies that he's created. Why is this happening, Damon?
Well, first thing I have to say, thanks for the invite, Seth. I never got one.
It's in the mail. I sent it. It was in the mail.
Was it? It was in the mail? But no, I think the reasons happened. If you look what happened after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, what the right did and Republicans, we prayed, we came together, and we didn't riot, we didn't protest or anything like that. And going to the protesters that you're talking about, that the No Kings and all that, they're making that money. Our great producer, Damon Sharon, and I were at a protest against Tesla. This is back in April, or I think it was in March, and that's when they were protesting Teslas, and they were all paid to go there. And when I got there, I just happened to pull up and park, and there were buses that people came on, and I just happened to mix in with the crowd, and they handed me, a voucher, to pick up your check, for $250 to go protest at the Tesla. So yes, they are getting paid a lot of money to do it. I don't know who's doing it. I mean, there's a lot of Soros, there's China, there's a lot of things that they're talking about who's funding all this stuff. But if you look at it now, the thing is, they don't have anything to say right now because the peace deal that Trump just brokered. So all of the people, free Palestine, ceasefire, screaming at the colleges, they have nothing to say. There's not one of them that are out there like, yes, that we got the ceasefire. They're silent. It's crickets. because they really didn't mean it. It was they were paid to go there. So though that's what it is. That's why they had to find something new to protest. And it's just a group of hateful people that will take money to go protest here, there, and whoever's funding it. Like I said, Soros. I know some of it was tracked to like a Chinese company that the money's coming from. But I'm hoping that we find out. I know Trump, and I know Cash Patel is looking into it as well, and they're going to hopefully drop the hammer when they find out who it is.
So, Elena, like I said in our breaking news, the Lost Voices of Fentanyl, they're having a huge rally in D.C., also on the 18th, the same time that the No Kings protest is happening. I wholeheartedly feel and believe that the Lost Voices of Fentanyl rally will do better and have more people than the No Kings rally. But again, it goes to the two causes. Which cause is legit? Which cause is better? Why would people not want to go to a Lost Voices of Fentanyl rally? Why would people go to a No Kings rally? Yes, they're getting paid for it. But like to Damon Galdo's point, it's a moot point what they're doing. It's a totally moot point. Fentanyl, and you know this very well, Elena, is a very dangerous drug. It kills a lot of people. As you know, illegals came in and poured fentanyl into this country illegally, and that's what caused a lot of innocent people to die from it. And the drug cartels push the fentanyl to young kids. So why are we still having a No Kings protest going on? Lost Voices for Fentanyl is a nationwide organization that has been up and running for years. Those are the people that should be getting more credit. Those are the people that should be having the hundreds of thousands of people at their events. What say you about that?
Yeah, I completely agree. You know, the No Kings people don't really seem to mind that the fentanyl is pouring into the country, and we're losing about 100,000 people a year to it. So they're not really interested. The left used to be interested in saving people from drug overdoses. They still say that they are with all, we have to save all the drug addicts, but then they give them free needles and encourage them to keep going.
No.
There's that. But I have a list of reasons why they're doing this No Kings protest, and I'm just going to give you one, because there's one question that I always ask a liberal who's defending illegal aliens, and not all of them are paid, by the way. Like, I personally know people who are going to these protests, who are at the last one and going to the next one, and they're not paid. They just think they're doing the right thing. You ask every single one of them, well, what do you think about Jocelyn Nungray? And I get the same answer every single time. They say, well, I don't know who that is.
Right.
And then I start to tell them about the 12-year-old girl who was kidnapped, raped, tortured, and strangled to death by 2 illegal aliens from Venezuela. And some of them have stopped me at the beginning and said, I can't hear that kind of thing. Please don't. So they won't face it. Other ones have said to me, well, you're just cherry picking a story. And I say to them, okay, so I'm cherry picking. So that's your answer. Instead of, oh, Lord, I'm appalled and I'm so sorry. I didn't know this was happening. Instead of that. But even, I'm not cherry picking. I could run down a whole list of people who have died, been murdered by illegal aliens, whether raped and murdered, tortured, beaten to death, tied up in their own basements, killed by illegal alien drunk drivers. It goes on and on and on. Children, white, black, Asian, you name it. And they don't care about any of them. They don't know about any of them. And when you tell them, they just move on and they say, what about school shootings? You should care about that. Or Americans are also committing crimes. And they have all these canned comebacks. They're either uninformed or they're morally corrupt to a point where they're irreparable. We cannot talk to these people, but those are the reasons why they're going to these protests.
Disgusting. Chris, I want you to follow up with that, with what Elena said. Your comment.
Yeah, so I know it's kind of hard to imagine people actually wanting to support this sort of thing, and like, the No Kings protests over something like the fentanyl march that you're talking about. But, last December, I was at the Supreme Court. We were in support of the state of Tennessee in the Scrimeti case, and for those who don't know what that is, that was the Supreme Court decision that made sure that states are allowed to ban child sex changes if they want to. The Biden administration sued the state of Tennessee, saying, no, you can't ban that. And anyway, so we had a fairly decent turnout, but the people who were all for child sex changes, oh my God, the crowd was gigantic. And, you know, I tried to think about why this is. Of course, as you were talking about, I mean, there certainly is probably money behind it. I mean, as someone who's running for office, I am quickly learning how absolutely orchestrated every little thing that you see is. You know, but I'll just say that if it isn't only that, I think the other thing is kind of like what Elena was alluding to. This is becoming a little bit of a cult, I think, and we're seeing the loudest, most obnoxious voices coming out, and we're seeing them over and over again. You know, and they're the malcontents on the left, and you know, they don't mind being crazy and loud. But I think the thing that we need to remember is they are still a tiny portion of the population.
Right.
I just think that they're just an extremely loud portion of the population. And just to drive my point home a little bit further, when I was at the US Supreme Court giving my speech and everything, one of the hecklers there who were heckling me while I was giving my speech, he was also at a rally heckling me again in Colorado. He followed me from Colorado to Washington, D.C. to make sure that he could do that. But I recognized some of the people there, other people in Washington, D.C. that I saw in Colorado. So that's the thing. It's like, don't get too down, folks, because, I mean, some of these people, it doesn't matter what state you're in, they're the same people doing it over and over and over again.
No, you ended that segment really well. And a very good point. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to focus now on elections coming up down to the wire as we did last week. Stay with us, guys. This is the America's Pulse Network. The Pulse. Please, guys, show us your comments. I know there's a lot of people that are watching that are not commenting, but we want your comments. We want your questions. And don't forget to follow us on America's Pulse Network on X, on Rumble, True Social, Parler, TikTok. We're on 5 different platforms now. So please, guys, stay with us, and we will be back right after the break.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. Waking up, because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
Hey guys, welcome back to The Pulse. I'm your moderator tonight, Alexandra Levine. Our third segment talks about elections coming down to the wire. We talked about this last week, but November 4th is the day. In Virginia, they have 45 days right now of early voting and mail-in ballots. And in New Jersey, I think they've already started with the mail-in ballots, but their early voting is a week before the election. So we really want to get everybody out. I can tell you that in the state of Virginia, the early voting is doing very well right now for Republicans, and Republicans are actually returning their mail-in ballots a lot faster than the Democrats. Same thing in the state of New Jersey. A lot of the mail-in ballots are returning a lot faster on the Republicans than for Democrats, and people are really coming out to vote. I can tell you that the Republicans are very geared up, and a lot of unaffiliated and Democrats are #Jexiting or crossing the aisle, and hopefully going to be voting for the Republicans on election day or when early voting starts in New Jersey a week before the election, that Republicans will really come out and really vote, and unaffiliates will really come out and vote for the Democrat. We'll get some moderate Democrats to hashtag vote for Jack as the governor of New Jersey, because we need to make New Jersey red again. Pivoting to the Virginia race, as you know, President Trump, he put out a Truth Social about a couple weeks ago in regards to the Democrat lieutenant governor candidate, Jay Jones, who wrote this harsh, most disgusting, revolting text messages threatening to kill a Republican representative and their family. Craziness. President Trump has called for him to step down. J.D. Vance has called for him to step down. And many others, even some Democrats, have called for Jay Jones to step down. But of course, he's not going to. But as a result, President Trump heavily endorsed the incumbent Attorney General of Virginia, Jason Maharis. And in a sense, he also commented on the woman running for governor, the Democrat, Abigail Spanberger, to be like, why aren't you calling for Jay Jones to leave? In a sense, President Trump didn't endorse Winsome Sears, who's running as a Republican for governor for Virginia, but he did boost her numbers by calling her opponent out. What say you about all this, Chris Barnett?
I think that obviously the honorable thing to do would be to denounce this and take one for the team, because I mean, this is obviously, just from a purely political standpoint, kind of a nightmare scenario for other elected Democrats to be in, and it shows who actually has, true strength and who is just listening to poll numbers and, going along with wherever they think the popular opinion is. And the ones that have the true strength have come out, on the Democrat side, have come out and actually denounced this. But we're seeing that a lot of them don't have that kind of strength and courage and conviction to stand up against something that is obviously so terrible. I mean, if I was in this situation and I had said something like that and it got out, and by the way, that's not something that I would ever say. Can we just get down to the basics here? Have I privately in my head wished something bad, but gosh, would I ever say it to someone else? I'd be too embarrassed to say it to somebody else. But I guess evidently this guy has no problem with that. So that's the thing that's kind of crazy to me. But yeah, he should step out of the race. And, from just the pure perspective of the Democrats, I don't see why they aren't pushing him out.
I agree. I completely agree with you. Pivoting to you, Elena, I'll be honest with you, Winsome Sears has run a very weak campaign. A lot of people are like, what the heck? Like, she should be like soaring past Abigail. President Trump, in my opinion, helped Winsome Sears by endorsing Jason Maharis. But we have to see what happens. I don't know if you got to see the debate between Abigail and Winsome Sears. Winsome Sears continuously just interrupted Abigail, wouldn't let her answer the question, tried to call her out lie after lie after lie. In my opinion, I don't think it was effective, whoever her new campaign manager is. And Winsome Sears has gone through 3 campaign managers in this cycle. In my opinion, didn't advise her correctly on how to handle the debate. And I know that she was trying to get Abigail to answer questions, try to hold her accountable. But with President Trump helping Jason Maharis, do you feel, in your opinion, maybe Winsome Sears should not praise, she doesn't have to come out and wholly endorse and support President Trump, but just say something about President Trump, something about the policies that he's done for Virginia, because it will look bad on her if she doesn't win. And it'll look bad on the state of Virginia, because Virginia needs to flip back the legislation. There's Democrat-controlled state legislators. It's Democrat control right now. We need that flipped. But we can't have it flipped unless Winsome Sears, as the current lieutenant governor, comes out and does something. What say you?
Well, as far as people switching their vote from Spanberger to Sears, to Winsome Sears, they're going to keep with their news that they're watching, and they're not going to see what is up with Spanberger. After that debate, yes, Winsome Sears did interrupt her too much. All you have to do with Spanberger is let her speak. And she's going to say something awful. Let her rip, And so you're right that she got bad advice with that interrupting shtick. But there were times, that one creepy part where Winsome was doing great, where she was asking Spanberger again and again, are you going to denounce Jay Jones? Are you going to denounce him? And Spanberger just stared out into space, wouldn't even look at Sears. She looked like a psychopath. Unfortunately, I don't think that the left is going to see that clip as much as we have. And if they do, they're only seeing the clips of Winsome Sears being weak. And, you know, I last week, I'm glad you gave some specifics, because last week you said she ran a weak campaign, and I was thinking about it this week, saying what specifically. If she's running through campaign managers, I mean, are we looking at two bad candidates for Virginia? Like, is Virginia going to lose either way? I don't really know. I like Winsome Sears. I prefer her, obviously, because I am more aligned with her politically and philosophically and morally. But is she actually going to be able to do the job either? It's very concerning for Virginia.
Yeah. And I mean, Seth, pivot to you. I mean, Virginia should have gone to President Trump. In my opinion, he was very, very close in this last election cycle. And President Trump was the reason why Glenn Youngkin and Winsome Sears and Jason Maharis came in office to begin with. He endorsed Glenn multiple times. And in my opinion, Glenn took the endorsements and kind of used President Trump and then put him at arm's length. Then President Trump had to come back to Virginia to say, hey, Glenn, I got you in there. What the hell are you going to do for me? What the hell? And he had Elise Stefanik in there, because I was at a huge Women for Trump rally in Virginia where there was thousands and thousands of women coming out for President Trump. But that was Elise Stefanik coming in and doing that. That wasn't Glenn Youngkin. Glenn Youngkin wasn't even present. So what say you about the future of the state of Virginia? Because the tagline of Virginia is, don't Maryland my Virginia. They don't want Virginia to become Maryland, because we can get it all. I mean, Seth and I can talk about Maryland all day and all night. But the point is that how can we make Virginia not Maryland? What does Winsome Sears have to do, in your opinion?
Well, the Republican Party needs to kick away all these wishy-washy, weak candidates and find a strong conservative candidate. Mm-hmm. I mean, just because someone, I'm Republican, doesn't mean you have to back them. Doesn't mean you have to put them up to run for an office. You go, hey, look, you're really good. Maybe you should aim lower. Start off low, like dog catcher or postman, and we'll work you up from there. She's a weak candidate. No matter what she does, she's going to be weak. And like Elena said, no matter who wins, Virginia loses. The Republican Party needs to stop backing and promoting every Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes down the pike and says, I want to run. I'm a Republican. Back me up. No. We're not going to do it just because there's an R after your name. Show us something. Do something. Show us you got some balls. Stand up and fight. Just don't sit in your debate stage and go, what? I'm going to interrupt you like a 2-year-old. Like, what? Mom? Who wants that in the governor's house? That's embarrassing. I want somebody who goes up on stage and knows that they're so right. They don't got to interrupt the other person. Like, you talk what you got to talk. I know what I'm going to say is fact. So you run your mouth. And when you're done, I'll say what I got to say. I don't need somebody who's so insecure with their points and their platform and their campaign that they have to interrupt constantly. Because like all that shows me is you have no confidence in what you're saying. You're afraid to let them speak because you don't know if you can counter it. And number 2, debates are ridiculous. But at the time the debates come around, people have made up their mind. They know who they're voting for. Maybe 2 or 3% might get swayed by debate, like, I'm going to vote for her now. But for the most part, they don't do much. They don't change minds. There's not like masses of people now going, I'm going to vote for her now because of that debate. If it wasn't for that debate, I wouldn't have voted for her. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, the Republican Party all over this country needs to start promoting strong, solid, conservative candidates and put them out there as strong, conservative candidates and back them. It's that simple.
Damon, I'll pivot this to you because I feel like Winsome Sears felt a sense of entitlement because she's the lieutenant governor. So she's like, I'm the lieutenant governor. Now it's my turn to become governor because Glenn Youngkin can be the governor next time. What would say you about that?
Yeah, you see a lot of that with candidates that are running that are already in position. I mean, they think they're just going to win and walk right into that race and win that race just because they're already elected as, say, lieutenant governor. But I just want to say one thing, Seth. I slightly disagree about the debates. You're right about most of it. But I slightly disagree. There's some gotcha moments because what happened when that debate, in Virginia, when she asked her about that, the guy said it's going to be your kids, and stuff like that, and she just stared. That was horrible for her. It was almost as bad as the Trump Biden debate when God, I wish I could pull up the clip because it's sad but hilarious. But that just ruined Biden. Like we beat Medicare. Trump's like, yeah, you beat it to the ground. And
you're a Republican and you're looking at the Republican eyes. Democrats don't see it that way. That's why I'm saying not many people are swayed by debates. They've already picked who they're going to back, and that's that.
Yeah, there's only a few Super Bowl moments, I would say, in the debate, and I think Virginia was one of them. But yeah, you're right about the rest of them because nobody even watches them. Nobody cares.
And also, early voting has already started and the mail-in ballots have already started. So that's to Seth's point. That's why sometimes debates don't really sway because people have either already voted or, that's the real reason because they've already voted.
Yeah, I was going to say because Jack Ciattarelli just had a debate with, he's running for governor of New Jersey, had a debate with Mikey Sherrill. And the first debate he won, but only people like me or you guys are going to watch these debates that are interested in it. So in the second debate, he got caught off guard where she accused him of killing 10,000 people.
Wait, Damon, I want you to hold a thought because
I'll hold it for next time. Okay.
No, because I'm getting into New Jersey right now. So okay. Damon shared. Can you please pull up the meme of New Jersey? Patrick Murphy. There we go. If you can read it. So Phil Murphy, he's the current governor of New Jersey, the Democrat. He's going to be leaving because he's termed. He said, proud to celebrate our strong and vibrant, LGBT.
Violent was right.
Sorry, I can't read it. Community today and every day. Happy National Coming Out Day, New Jersey. National Coming Out Day was on 11 in New Jersey. So pivoting back to Damon Galdo. So you're dealing with this. You have this governor right now, National Coming Out Day. You have Mickey Sherrill, the Democrat. And, obviously she's not going to condemn, National Coming Out Day, because that's what Governor Phil Murphy wants, National Coming Out Day. So do you want that for your governor, your next governor?
Well, I have to answer that question. But before I say something, I want to say to Len, I see your post there in the chat. Len, stay tuned because we're going to get to the event later. That's at Skeeter's. So stay tuned, Len. But yeah, when that got posted, I'm like, National Coming Out Day. I didn't even know it was a thing. I mean, like, what is? I'm like, so I responded to that and I said, "What do you mean you're going to do? You're going to come out and pay my electric bill because so they almost tripled in New Jersey because of their policies, because of Phil Murphy's policies with the wind turbines and all that stuff, that failed policies. I mean, the waste of billions of taxpayer dollars in New Jersey with that initiative, and now they're all shut down or going away, and you can't even get rid of them. And barely, I mean, it's an environmental hazard now, like, to get rid of them. They were killing whales. They didn't generate 1 kilowatt of electricity. It was unbelievable. And now our electric bills, they outsourced it when we used to have it here. And literally, people in New Jersey are hurting bad. Yeah, they're hurting really bad. I mean, I'll tell you because I am, I'm struggling to make my bills. That's why I worked 24 hours yesterday, and that's why I do this podcast, because I need people to get the right people elected in this state and every other state, and that's real. It's a soft spot for me because it hurts. It hurts in the pocket, and National Coming Out Day, go after yourself with that. Just make some better policies. And the same thing with Donald Norcross, the congressman here too, talking about the government shutdown, and it's a Republican shutdown. It's all BS. I'm tired of all of them. I really am. I'm tired of all of them. I'm tired of all the left-wing loonies, out there and
lunatics. That's what Trump calls them, left-wing lunatics.
Yeah, that's what it is. So I'm just sorry you struck a nerve there, but yeah. So that's how I feel about that.
No, I agree. Chris, let's pivot to you. What do you think about National Coming Out Day? And what do you think about, how we, the people, need to make New Jersey red again?
Okay, well, I'm just laughing because I did not know it was National Coming Out Day. And that is hilarious because, yeah, I'm one of those people. But guess what? I don't give a flying fuck about National Coming Out Day.
So you didn't come out on October 11th? Darn.
It's my daughter's birthday, too.
Excuse my language, too. I'm not sure if I really should.
Oh, no, we're fine. No,
It's all right.
no, we're good. Seth says it for all of us.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's just insane. You know, it's like, I mean, from my perspective, since you asked me about National Coming Out Day, the thing that makes me so sick is it seems like Pride Month is actually Pride Year. So it finishes up December 31st and restarts again January 1st. And I'm getting so tired of this stuff. You know, I mean, it's not helping anybody. It's hurting people like me who are just, you know, as JD Vance said, the normie gays. You know, we don't care about this crap. You know, I mean, it's a left-wing push. I mean, that's all this stuff is. It's about indoctrination and everything. And I'm sure that there are innocent Democrats out there who think that they're doing the right thing and helping people, but they're not. You know, and they're, you know, a lot of this stuff, you know, the drag shows for kids, the, you know, pride events for kids, child sex changes, all those types of things that I was talking about, you know, it's part of an agenda that doesn't represent people like me. And it's, you know, quite frankly, evil to go after children the way that they're doing. So, I mean, and at least in my mind, and yeah, I'm a gay man. In my mind, every time I see something about pride, I'm just seeing some like really weird, perverse stuff. So yeah, I'm gay, but I'm not on board with this crap at all.
Yeah, well, and if I could just respond to that real quick. I mean, what pride should be, what behind is in your background there. You sound like my nephew Andrew and my friend Ron. They're both gay, and they can't stand what they're pushing in the schools. In New Jersey, we have Bill 5756, and they push it in the schools, and that's what we're fighting against. It's like, hey, listen, I don't care. I have family that's gay. I have friends that are gay, but the kids need to learn math, English, history, and so forth. You know, don't push them. Let them be them when they're adults. And my nephew says it all the time, and my buddy says it all the time. And he says this is bullshit. So I'm sorry.
Well, Elena, let me pivot to you. You know, the governor talked about National Coming Out Day, October 11th. Why didn't he talk about the 250 years of us celebrating the military? You know, that's real history. That's something that's real. That's something that a lot of kids don't know. A lot of kids don't know when the Declaration of Independence took place. A lot of kids don't know that John Hancock was the first guy to sign it. I mean, this is things that need to be taught in schools. But again, you have a Democrat socialist governor who, even though he's out the door, he's still pushing this. And again, if they put Mickey Sherrill in there, she may push this too. What say you, Elena?
Mickey Sherrill will definitely push this, first of all. All identity politics need to go. Two things. Our education system in the United States is absolute trash. The children are not being taught the Bill of Rights, and they're not being taught the Constitution and Declaration of Independence, the actual history. You talk about founding fathers, all they talk about is that they were slave owners, that they were evil men, and that this whole country is based on murder. That's their whole jam. So get your kids out of public schools, homeschool. If you can find a good private school that isn't indoctrinating, also do it. As far as identity politics, coming out day, anything, I don't like any of it. I am absolutely up to here with pushing sexuality and gender nonsense and sexual orientation on children. Have had it. But separately, even earlier this year, I think President Trump, what did he sign in an order on Irish Heritage Month or something? And I was like, look, I'm part Irish, okay? So I can say this. I don't want it. I don't want Irish Heritage Month. I don't want Indian Day. I don't want Italian Night. I don't want any of it coming from
Jewish Heritage Month.
No, not from
the have one Italian night. You take a night. I would take that.
Listen, at my house, you guys want to come, I'll cook Italian for you. Do not want my government involved in identity politics of any sort. Women's this, black this, Hispanic that. Get out of the business of dividing us up and putting labels on us. Celebrate the Army, celebrate the Declaration, celebrate, the history of this country, winning the revolution. Those are the things that unite us, and those are the only things that our government should be participating in at every level.
Exactly. Now, Seth, you and I were able to get 2 conservatives on the school board in Frederick County, Colt Black and Jamie Brennan. And Heather Fletcher wants to get in there too, and she's very conservative. But we're dealing with a Democrat governor who, I mean, we do have people running for governor on the Republican side. I'm just going to be honest, and Seth, you can be honest with me too, and I know you are. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to beat this mofo. It's going to be very tough to beat Westmore. But we were able to get conservatives on the school board. Again, moving on to the New Jersey race, the gubernatorial races nationwide, how can we pivot so we can instill some type of conservative traditional values for our children, like Elena was saying? How can we make it so we don't have a governor celebrating National Coming Out Day? What say you?
Well, first of all, I miss the days where you parked your car at night was nobody's business but your own. I don't care where you holster your gun at night. I don't care. It's not my business, and you shouldn't be sharing it with me anyway. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's narcissistic, and I think it's funny. And I don't know who said it, but Samuel Johnson said it best when he said the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So people just need to mind their own business. And as far as getting Republicans elected, it's hard to beat somebody who's promising to give you the House when the other person is talking about, hey, it's going to cost. We're going to have to do some things. We might have to cut some stuff. We all have to pitch in. It's hard to beat freebies. It's really hard to do that. And people don't want to hear the truth. They want to be lied to. People love to hear a good lie, especially if that lie involves them getting something, like getting money or getting food or getting, free gas or whatever they're giving away. That's what they want to hear. They don't want to hear anything else. So as long as the Democrats are promising to give away stuff, and as long as there's idiots out there that are stupid enough to believe them, and unfortunately, stupid people vote a lot more than smart people. Until we can change that, it's going to be an uphill battle forever. And in that vein, I'm also against mandatory voting. I know there's been some states talking about, like, if you don't vote, they hit you with your taxes or something. There's some tax fine you get. No, you should not be forced to vote. That just pushes more stupid people into the voting pool who don't have time to learn anything. I'm just going to vote so I don't have to pay tax penalty.
Who was that? Wait, where is that? I haven't heard.
I heard it was Maryland was talking about it, not officially. There are people who are throwing it around. There's a couple other states who've been throwing it around because I know Europe. There's countries in Europe where it's mandatory. You must vote, or when your taxes come out.
I've heard about the.
Yeah, it's like a fine, not some crazy fine, but just enough to make you go, damn, maybe I should vote. But yeah, I don't agree with that. But until we get smart people out voting,
I agree.
The dummies are going to keep winning, and the dummies are going to vote for liberals. It's just that simple.
Well, guys, we have to take a quick break because we're getting into segment 4, and it's already 9:11. Oh my gosh, 9:11 p.m. on the dot. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after the break.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
So, hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I just want to say shout out to Arlene. She says, I'm here, Damon. And shout out to Peter Sykes for Assembly. He said 150 plus LGBT holidays a year. That's a lot. So turning into segment 4. So we have our first clip. This is Nancy Pelosi shouting at a reporter that I know as a White House correspondent. I'm with her on Lindell TV. Let's play this clip.
Why did you refuse the National Guard on January 6th?
Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist?
The American people want to know. We still have questions. Thank you.
God.
So that's my good friend from Lindell TV. We're going to pivot that to you, Elena, because you brought this clip to our attention. What say you about Nancy Pelosi, her actions towards my friend from Lindell TV?
First of all, this is the best video on the internet today. I've watched it like 10 times.
Laughing.
Love watching Nancy Pelosi lose her mind. And I don't know what she's so worried about. On this committee, she's got the best of Democrats holding the Democrat seats. She has got Jasmine Crockett and Eric Swalwell on the committee.
Oh, lovely.
Everything is going to work in her favor. Well, that's who Hakeem Jeffries appointed to the committee. It's absolutely fantastic. She's in trouble. She's squirming, and we know the truth is about to come out, and she's angry. She's angry because she never in her wildest dreams imagined that Donald Trump would win and she would have to answer for her hideous actions that day. And all of her narrative that she spun up is falling apart. That clip ended a second too early because the rest of the clip, the reporter turns, looks right in the camera and smiles. It was just delightful. The whole and it also reminds me of what we were talking about just a few days ago with the Katie Porter clips of Katie Porter, get out of my effing shot, like a lunatic and all that. I'm like, what's going on in California? All the broads are crazy and they're all trying to take over the country. It's too fun to watch.
Yeah. And Katie Porter, we didn't get a chance to play that clip, but she's running for governor of California. And she talked about, President Trump's demise, maybe he'll die of a heart attack. Somebody will take him out. Something will happen. But yet she's still allowed to run for the governor of California. I mean, she's hoping that something bad will happen to President Trump. And I feel like Nancy Pelosi was also hoping that something bad would happen to President Trump. What say you, Seth, about this clip?
She's a drunk.
And so people were like, we got to think every decision has to be made in tension with Trump. Soon, Trump will lose or go to prison or, I don't know, have a heart attack. I'm not sure.
We call it the hamburger.
I don't know what his demise is going to be, but he'll have his demise. And the question will still be there. Who are we as?
So thank you, Damon Sherrod, for playing that clip. So Seth, comment on that clip. That's what Katie Porter was saying. Who are we as Democrats? Well, Nancy Pelosi, and we see with Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer and Obama, what kind of Democrats they really are. They want to hurt Donald Trump. They want to either put him in jail or annihilate him. Let's see.
Who was that again?
Katie Porter. She's running for governor of California.
I thought she was one of the Lee sisters, homely or ugly. I didn't know who she was.
No,
she's like a man.
She's beastly.
Beastly. I didn't know. I couldn't tell.
Well, she's like a front runner. Like she's like up and coming, popular. They all love it.
Maybe. That's an ugly woman.
Was she wearing a jailhouse jumpsuit too? That's what.
Really.
No, that's a moo-moo. She had to go to over the tent maker for that one, or use the shower curtain in her bathroom because it wasn't big enough to cover that fat ass. Liberals are crazy. They're all just crazy. I mean, there's no getting around it anymore. They're fucking insane. I mean, you listen to her. I mean, like that one video, get out of my shot. Like, who the hell are you, fatty?
Oh my God, you're making Chris cry. Chris is like dying.
I'm sick of hearing them from these people. They've got nothing to say. The only time they have something good to say is when you squeeze their head or you kick their cage. Then they might have a moment of clarity. Go, geez, I am crazy as shit. I didn't realize how crazy I was till just now. You've got the drunkard wino screaming at reporters, and Democrats don't care. But God forbid Trump calls someone an idiot or calls somebody dumb.
True.
Then it's the end of the world. We marching on DC with torches and pitchforks. We got to kill him. He's evil. I'm at the point now where I don't care what liberals say. If I have friends who are liberals and I love them, as soon as they start talking politics, I start throwing Valium in their mouth. Shut up. I don't want to hear it because you're not going to say anything that makes any sense to me. And I've known you for 10 years, and I don't want to choke you out in front of your kids. So take a Valium and shut up. But they're all insane. You'll never find a liberal that has anything to say that you're going to remotely might go, you know what, I can almost get on board with, like Hakeem Jeffries. God ruined a perfectly good penis when he put ears on that. But people love him. People love that moron. Again, but if a Republican says one thing off cue, it's the end of the world. Let's all go. Even Republicans will jump on it. Well, he shouldn't have said that. We're going to kind of, we're going to distance ourselves. Republicans aren't saying anything about this. They all just, okay. You got Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I don't know what happened to her. It must be lead in the water she's drinking.
Jewish lasers, Seth.
Jewish lasers starting fires in Hawaii. Now she's all over Trump for not doing it. They're all crazy. Power corrupts absolutely. And you can see it. It's on display.
And I've seen this because I work with people in office. When they go to Congress or they go into the governor's mansion, they change. A lot of them change. They're bought. A lot of them are bought and paid for. A lot of them they're changed. They're bought and paid for by special interests and lobbyists. That's why I say get rid of them on Capitol Hill. Get rid of them in the state level. A lot of these governors, they do change once they get into the governor's mansion, like Larry Hogan and many others. They change. They totally change. I mean, I don't think Larry Hogan ever changed.
I don't think he changed very much.
But he just got worse. But Damon Gallo, pivot to you. What do you think about all of this with Katie Porter and also, with Nancy Pelosi? I mean, she blatantly lied. She blatantly lied to the Lindell TV girl. She knew that she lied. We all know that President Trump called for the National Guard on January 6th, and he asked Mitch McConnell for the National Guard as well. He asked for additional 10,000 National Guardsmen because he but he heard that there was, something going on at the Capitol. And also President Trump was still speaking. He was still speaking before, as the January 6th attackers were on Capitol Hill. So even before President Trump got to the Capitol or told people let's go to the Capitol, there was already riots starting by the tons of buses that came from George Soros and others to set up President Trump. Let's say you, Damon Galdo.
Well, I would say one, she was caught on camera saying that did I make a mistake by turning the National Guard away? So that's right there. So she's lying. So, and I'm going to go with something a little controversial, and I kind of learned this a little bit from Elena. Women should not be in power at all because they suck at it, but they are. But before anyone drops off and gets mad at me about this, I want to tell you what.
You're not the first person I've heard say this, but
what my reasoning behind it is. So that men should lead men. Say you're going to war, men should lead men. But if you think about it, because women are too. They are devious and they're catty and they don't get along with other women and all that stuff. But the person that's really running the show, like behind every strong man, there's a strong woman. And the woman behind the man is actually the one that's really in power. So that's my get out of jail free card.
You had me until that, but yeah.
It is.
Well, we have our place. A strong woman can be extremely influential, and there are some women who can be good leaders. But I have come across so few in my life that
very few.
The exception will never make the rule. I don't think that the woman is the power behind the man, but I think that she can create an environment if she's a strong woman for a man to be a good man and be powerful.
Hold on. I feel the prime example of that is Erica Kirk. Erica Kirk was such a strong force for Charlie, and she changed him a lot. In my opinion, she made him a better man. Because I saw Charlie Kirk before he was married, before he had children. He became completely different when he met Erica and he had children. He became more of a man of faith. He became more just encompassing of her and putting her on this pedestal. But also because she was so faith-based, she elevated him a lot. And Melania Trump has been there for her husband from the beginning. I can tell you on the 2016 election, when the exit polls came out, Ivanka and Jared called their father and said, exit polls don't look so good, Dad. Hillary Clinton's up. I think she's going to win this. And President Trump, he got off the phone and he was a little sad. He kind of had the defeated look. And Melania went right up to him and she says, there is no way in hell, Donald, that you lost this election. I saw people come from all over the country. You had thousands of people at your rallies. There is no way in hell that you lost the election. This was before any of the numbers were coming up. And by Melania Trump giving him that boost, by being there for him at that moment, it propelled him to have more of that victorious look on his face, that victorious smile. He didn't feel defeated at that moment because she was there by his side, elevating him and helping him up. And that's really the point.
Well, I would just say that great men are protectors, and they want to protect women. And that's the thing. So that's why I give women.
Right. Erica protected Charlie Kirk. Melania Trump, I feel, protects her husband a lot.
Because here, I'm just saying, I call it the power of the P. And, everyone out there knows what that is. So,
no, I don't. What is that?
The power of the pussy.
That's enough.
Anyway, Chris, we'll pivot to you.
I was going to go a little further, but I know we're running out of time. So
I know. Well, Chris, after Seth left us all crying and dying of laughter. So let's summarize, everything, with Nancy Pelosi, with, how we as a nation could go forward. And how do you feel about, now Nancy Pelosi is going to have to answer to the American people about what she did on January 6th?
Yeah, and people in her position aren't used to having to answer to the people, and it's kind of nice to see it when it does happen. So, I just from the perspective of somebody who is actually running for office, and I'm sure that, her corpse is going to continue trying to run for office. So
I got one of those here too.
Yeah, and so I'm just like flabbergasted that someone because I think that she's actually an intelligent person. She's kind of an evil person, but she's intelligent. Okay, I see disagreement down there, but we can but I think she's deviously intelligent. Maybe that's my thing. But in that sense, so. I'm just really surprised that she let herself actually go to that. But, thankfully, Elena sent it to me, and it made my day as well. And so
I couldn't stop laughing. I could not stop laughing.
It was just so funny. Yeah.
You shut up.
Shut up. I know. And so I just can't believe that she went there. That was the most surprising thing. But as far as a way forward for the country, people need to really get involved. I think that is the hardest thing that, I'm kind of seeing as a candidate is, it feels like you're just constantly dragging people along to actually become a little bit more active. Voting is, voting is the bare minimum that you can do, the absolute bare minimum. So just because you're voting doesn't mean that you're, not a super number one citizen or anything like that. So get out there, the thing that brought me to politics, do those types of things. You don't have to run for office like I ended up doing, but go out there, go to city council meetings, go to school board meetings, that type of stuff. We need an active population that goes beyond just voting. So, we need people to actually show up and not just, sit back and talk or simply vote. Like I said, it really has to be more, guys.
Or do action.
And the more people that actually, the intelligent people, like we were talking about, keep the idiots out, but get more of those intelligent people out there and doing that. And I think our country will be in a better place because right now, especially under Biden, especially under Obama, the inmates were running the asylum. That's why our country is in the situation that it's in. So it's time to turn that back around. So get off your butts, people, and actually do something. And really, the local area is probably one of the best places. And it's not that overwhelming. Showing up and speaking at a city council meeting is nothing. So do it.
And also, I just want to plug in the Frederick County Conservative Club. Get involved with them. We have people from outside the county that are involved. I'm in Montgomery County, but I pay Fred Profiter my dues. My friend Tim Fazenmaker is in Baltimore County. He pays Fred Profiter dues. So it's not just Frederick County. There's people that are coming from outside of the county to be a part of the Frederick County Conservative Club. They are a club. And Seth, I'm speaking for your club, but you guys are doers. You do. When you say you want to put rallies together and make a difference, you do it. And you have wonderful speakers. And your meetings are, I think it's the second Monday of every month. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah, second Monday of every month. Get involved. Contact Seth Eisenberg. If you do not live in the state, you can still donate to the Frederick County Conservative Club. I'm a Florida resident. I donate to the Frederick County Conservative Club. So anybody can do it. Anybody can get involved. Before we go, just everybody tell our audience how we can get in touch with you. Chris, we'll start with you as our special guest. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. You were such a wonderful addition to our panel.
Oh, thank you so much, Alexander. I appreciate that. Yeah, I did leave my website up here. It's barrettformo.com. As Alexandra said, you don't have to live in Missouri in order to help me out. Even people outside my district that are still fairly close, I'm saying, hey, you can volunteer, you can donate. But, if you live in Florida, live in California, live in Maryland, New Jersey, whatever the case may be, you can still help me out. I am a strong conservative running in a purple district. So that I'm going to need as much help as I possibly can get. So definitely.
And donate to Chris directly, guys, not to the party. Donate to Chris directly. So
right, because the party doesn't give me money.
Nope.
I don't. Yeah. So donating to the party, while not such a bad thing, it's not going to help me. So definitely go to barrettformo.com and donate there. I'm also on X quite a bit, and that's under that's also at barrettformo, and you can find me there. And if you go to my website, I also have an email address on there. Those emails go directly to me. And so if you have questions about me, where I stand on particular issues, want to know, feel free to hit me up.
Awesome. And Elena, where can our viewers find you?
On all the usual socials, you can find me at The Based Mother. I'm most active on Instagram and X.
And Seth, don't forget, we can follow Seth and tell us, plug in your show, Seth.
The Conservative Corner on Sundays at 7. Unless I have a heart attack or stroke before then, that's when I'll be on. Or I might have one live on air. So,
oh, God.
I mean, I don't know, like this vein. I'm serious. This vein,
I'm still waiting for it.
Well, let's see. Your chair broke on air.
Yeah, so. My chair. I'm like basically, literally, I'm like squatting almost right now. My butt is like an inch off the carpet. My knees are like right to here. You can't right at the table. I feel like I'm in some third world nation in a jungle. Waiting for like the Yankees to come over through the jungle so I can attack them. It's just ridiculous.
Poor Seth.
But yeah, Sundays, and then I'm here on Wednesdays. I'm on.
And sometimes he fills in for me.
Oh yeah, I fill in for Elena every once. Not Elena, for Alexandra every once in a while. Elena's smart. She won't let me fill in. She's a very smart woman. I think Alexandra.
My numbers are up because that's.
Well, you like to live dangerously, so that's why you let me do it. But yeah, then I'm on Facebook. The Conservative Corner. And if you're interested in the Frederick County Conservative Club, it's fccc.us. Very simple to remember. I think there's actually a better picture of me on that website, so you can see that one. And then find out about the club. If you want to be part of it, be a part of it.
And also, you guys can check out the vigil and all of the rallies that Seth and I and Fred have put on together over the years. Yep. So please get involved, guys. And Damon Galdo, let's plug you in. Go for it.
Well, for sake of time, I'm just going to say people know where to find me. You already know. Everyone that follows.
Jersey Shore every Monday night and Friday night from 8 to 9 p.m.
But I was going to say Monday night, Friday night. I used to have the radio show Thursday night. I gave it to Jack and Pete, bringing the sites for Assembly until November 4th. And then I'm taking my show back, guys, by the way. But I gave it to them so they can help get elected. And so just remember, bringing the sites, Ditzel and Gonzalez for Assembly. These are New Jersey people, by the way.
Jersey.
Yeah, and Jack Citarelli. We got to get.
We have to get Jack Citarelli, definitely, and Constance and Nilsa and Pete Sykes and everybody involved. We got to get those guys elected, please God. As you know, I'm Alexandra Levine. I'm Alexandra Levine Live every Tuesdays and Thursday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. Sometimes I do have fill-ins. I will have a fill-in tomorrow night. Probably Damon Galdo will be filling in for me if he doesn't die from all the work he's doing.
November 4th, Damon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're going to plug
in. I think it's coming up next.
Right at the end. So, yeah, guys, I just want to plug in very quick. Our good friend, elected official Tim Fazenbaker. As you know, he's running for County Council District 9. Please go to timfazenbaker.com. Give a donation to him. And that is our GOP election party podcast guest. That's going to be November 4th. Damon Galdo is hosting it. I will be in. I'll just plug myself in. Seth Eisenberg will be there live with Damon Sherritt. It's going to be amazing. It's an all-night election party in New Jersey. Please be there if you can be there. If not, plug in. We're going to be live streaming the whole entire night. Thanks so much. I'm sorry.
So Seth, I can't wait for you to come up, man. This Jersey Shore podcast is going to be there. And this is
God, Seth in New Jersey, everybody! Woo!
Yeah. Oh my God, I got something planned for you, buddy. I got surprises for you, man.
That's cool. Everybody can have a shot with me.
And this is for, I mean, obviously for Jack Ciavarelli and all the assembly candidates that are going to be there, because the ones that we just mentioned will be there. And Keith Gibbons running for mayor and Gloucester County.
Seth, you may love it so much you may not want to come back.
Yeah,
I got some good stuff for you, Seth. We got a good show we're going to do. And Elena, you're coming on, right? Remotely?
Yeah, I'm going to try to. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Planning on it.
Yeah, well, I'll be popping in and out. But yeah, this is going to be great. So please, guys, follow us. And we're on all the social media platforms, America's Pulse Network, on Rumble, on True Social, on Parler, on TikTok, on X, and YouTube. So we're on about 5 platforms now and up and coming, and we're doing great each week. So thanks, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Again, this is The Pulse. We represent God, we represent country, and America first, and #MAGA. Have a great night, everybody.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Generation fighters take the stand. From shore to shore, we reclaim the land. Grit and glory in every strand. In Jersey Shore, we make our stand.
Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country, America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth. Righteous pride in this one big voice, it's our time. Generation fighters take the stand. From shore to shore, we reclaim the land. Grit and glory in every strand. In Jersey Shore, we make our stand.
Hi, I'm Nelsa Gonzalez.
And I'm Constance Ditzel. Together, we're running to represent you in the New Jersey State Assembly, Legislative District 5.
We support women in sports. We support them in their safety on the field and in their locker rooms. We support them playing against other female athletes and with the same competitive advantage.
But our Democrat Assembly and Senate in Trenton hesitate to sign a fairness in women's sports bill. This means that the daughters and granddaughters of the women who fought in the late 70s for the women in our schools have to start the fight all over again. Women support women.
We need legislation for the next generation.
Constance Ditzel and Nilsa Gonzalez approve of this message. This ad was paid for by the Ditzel and Gonzalez LD5 campaign.